That's a really good story. So, what do you going back now to Bajent,
Yeah.
and what you were talking about, mature beyond his years? Do you believe that he's going to be tested to a new level? Like on paper, the Chargers are a more talented defense, but in the stats, they're not.
No.
So, do you believe that there will be a greater challenge here with what he faces?
Well, it's prime time. It's a big stage. I don't think that's going to be too much for him. But the Chargers have a 2-game losing streak. And you know what happens with 2-game losing streaks? The third one, and everybody's getting fired, and the quarterback's no good, and trade Khalil Mack. So, yes, the Chargers are going to be amped up. It's on their home turf, even though they're not going to have a home crowd feel to it, because, Bears fans are going to travel like every other team likes to go there, or Vegas. Same thing with the Rams. So that's something you got to factor in. The Raiders, they did give up a lot of cushion. They gave him he took advantage of what they gave him. I don't think the Chargers are going to think that way. They're a heavy nickel team like most teams. They blitz a fair amount. There'll be more blitz pressure. They're going to play some man coverage. So we're going to find out. Whatever's on tape now, they have a good idea of what he is. And they've got Derwin James. He is a premier player at safety. He can play everything from big nickel to dime to blitz to linebacker. You got Khalil Mack. You got Joey Bosa. The interior defensive linemen, I think, are pretty darn good as well. I don't know what's going on with their defense. Is it because of who they've been playing, because they're in the AFC West? I don't know, but the defensive numbers are pretty awful.
Yeah.
However, I think they can still get to the quarterback, and they could take the ball away. So these are two things that did not happen in Week 7 against the Raiders. So, you can't – well, maybe you can. We just talked to Dan Fouts for our podcast. It's going to drop tomorrow. And, he's from Air Coryell, and he was trained by Bill Walsh. And short passing game, that was right up their wheelhouse. Take what they give you and stretch the field horizontally and, live to play another day. So maybe that'll be the case. I don't know.
They have Asante Samuel Jr. in their secondary as well. He's a good football player. So the pieces are there. It's just not working for them. Jeff, it's my interpretation that the game plan included more opportunities to push the ball down the field, but there was no need to access them because they were running the football well, and what they were doing just fine. So it's my understanding that it wasn't this neutered game plan. It was just how the game plan unfolded, and they were up 14-3 at the half and pretty much in control the entire game. Do you believe that was the case as well? And do you believe that the game plan will include more opportunities to push the ball down the field for Bajent?
Well, I can't predict the future in this case.
Yes,
or
you can.
What they're going to do. I haven't spoken to the proper individuals for said attack, but you always are going to, even if your plan is to nickel and dime a team and dink and duck all the way down the field, there is always plays for deeper balls. So there's no question about it. But I just like the decision making that was made. So don't push it if you don't have to, right? Don't get into trouble. And that's probably the advice given to a first-time NFL starter from Shepherd University. But I totally believe that this guy is going to be fine if you have to work the ball down the field, or if you dig yourself a ditch and you got to throw the ball to get back into a game.
Jeff, usually, as you know, being around this team forever, rookies are usually just ignored. It seems like he's connected with his team, and the veterans kind of look at him as a player that, yes, he's a rookie, but maybe they don't treat him as much. When you see how the interaction takes place, what do you see between the rookie quarterback and this group of Bears?
I think players like people, like us, like fans, we all like underdogs. I mean, he is one of the bigger underdogs, right, from Shepherd University. I mean, the only guy in the 73-year history to be invited to the Senior Bowl, from that school. So, as he told everybody today, first quarterback to ever start an NFL game that was born and bred in the state of West Virginia. But he doesn't come off like Todd Sauerbrunn and hang time on his license plate. So,
yes.
He came in here humble. He's humble right now. But he's just, again, 23 plus. So I have a 24 and I have a 24-year-old, soon to be 24-year-old daughter, and 25, soon to be 26-year-old daughter. And, putting her on a podium and answering questions like he did, I'm just not seeing it. No offense to my daughters. It's just that age range is something. But you're a quarterback. He's been a quarterback his whole life. And he just knows how to press the right buttons. But, inside the NFL, did you hear all that mic'd up sound from Lucas Patrick and Mercedes Lewis?
I haven't heard a lot of it. No.
Oh, go listen.
Yeah.
There's your answer.
Right.
Cole Kmet, they were all talking about Tyson Bagent for the very things you and Sylvie were just talking about. It's all there. So go check it out. I mean, it's really an endorsement of this young man and how he came in and how he went right to work.
You expect with a rookie quarterback, regardless of whether he came from Alabama or he came from Shepherd, that there will be some procedural mistakes or hiccups, and there were none. You know, from play calling, ball, setting the ball down, getting in and out of the huddle. There didn't seem to be any confusion. It was cool to watch. It looked like it came easy to him, and I know it's not easy, and I'm not projecting that he is going to be the second coming of Tom Brady, but it was nice to watch a clean operation.
Yes, and that was one of my keys to the game was let's have a clean game, start to finish on both sides of the ball, and the Bears came very close to doing that. Save for the penalties, 9 penalties, but they checked almost every single situational box, every single one. You go third down success on run of the ball. For the year, they're averaging over 6 yards run of the ball on third down. First down rushing was outstanding. They took care of business in the red zone. Third down defense was very good. Again, I mean, you name it. Red zone, they were perfect. I mean, a blocked extra point and 9 penalties were the only fly in the anointment. And they took advantage of a team that's on their skids right now. So that's what you got to do to crawl back into this and get a better product on the field. But this will be an upgrade in talent on both sides of the ball. And I'm just looking at Justin Herbert, and I'm hearing, he's holding on the ball too long in crunch time in the fourth quarter, and they dipped significantly, not scoring points in the fourth quarter. And when you say it's not easy being a rookie quarterback in your first start, he's 25 years old in his fourth year and has $262 million contract, and it's not easy for him either. And he's a dynamic elite player, so it's a very difficult thing to analyze. You don't know when success or tragedy is going to hit your quarterback position in terms of performance. And so hopefully he keeps his head and uses all that angst he has over the course of the week that he indicates he's got nerves, that it just goes away when you take the field. And it is going to be a great moment. And you guys were also talking about his maturity. I know they're not connected by any sense in terms of football, but Bagent's father clearly had an impact on his confidence, and they've basically been growing a quarterback there in West Virginia for a very long time. So there's some great videos out there that are surfacing about how he trained and crazy stuff. But
it's must watch. Yeah, it's must watch. Yeah,
must watch.
I want to ask you about Darnell Wright. So Darnell Wright was a DNP today, and they added a toe injury to the shoulder. Waddle mentioned on the film that maybe there was some worry about, even though he still played pretty well, that worry about the shoulder and that you could tell. Is there a concern from you about Darnell Wright here with the toe and the shoulder?
I was amazed how he stayed in the game after watching it again, because I brought it up on the broadcast a couple of times to Tom, like it seems like he's trying to shake off the shoulder.
Playing one-armed.
Yeah. He played one-armed against Max Crosby, and he stuck it out. I mean, that's a 5-star medal right there. Just for that, I was very, very – this is a tough dude. Clearly, he battled. He battled, and he didn't give up. And that was impressive. I from my vantage point, I didn't notice that other than after the snap, trying to work the shoulder out, and then he hurt his toe, apparently, too. That's on the injury report. So, let's just wait and see. He's been very impressive. He's kind of flying under the radar a little bit. We don't hear from him much. But when he and Tevin or he and Nate Davis are out there together, that's a really – the Bears are running the ball with a high number one in the league running right, 7 yards a carry this season. So that's a good sign that those two guys are doing the job in the run game, and he's faced some pretty good pass rushers already. It hasn't been clean, but nothing out of the ordinary for an offensive tackle in this league in the first place. So I hope he'll be fine, because he's appearing to me to be a difference maker.
Jeff, the quarterback, because of the story that we've talked about quite a bit, is getting a lot of the attention. The defense has been good for 3 weeks now.
Yes.
Do you see this thing continuing to trend in the right direction?
To me, one of the biggest changes, well, maybe it's not a change, it's just maybe who they played. I hope it continues because I just mentioned Derwin James playing all over the place. I honestly feel that Jaquan Brisker could do the same. And I use this term in the broadcast, and I'm using it again right now because I think there's a delineation. And Tom, you should probably enlighten me if I'm on the right track on this because you obviously played the game. There's a difference between starting a player and deploying a talent. And he was deployed on Sunday. He was deployed. He was all over the field. He was a heavy influence in the run game. He was making big tackles. If that ball doesn't get tipped at the line of scrimmage by Justin Jones, that's a swipe for Brisker, and he might even score. I just think he really let it all hang out in that game, and that's because they allowed him to. I think they're playing a lot more man. They're playing aggressive, and just keep it going. Keep feeding the bulldog. Feed the beast. Feed that Tom Waddle pizza. Feed the beast.
Exactly. Feed the beast.
Feed the beast.
You know what I like to see, Jeff, is I hate to see coaches that are so rigid and so dialed into their own scheme that they fail to make necessary adjustments. And I think Matt Eberflus, the defensive coordinator, has become a more aggressive defensive coordinator. I think his game plans have been more aggressive, and I think he's tailoring his defensive calls to the talent he has because Jalen Johnson and Tyreek Stevenson and Brisker and Gordon, these are all guys that can excel in man coverage.
Yes.
And they can excel playing a physical brand of football, not just sitting back in that Tampa 2. So I like what defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus has done.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Those are all very, very good talents that could develop into dynamic talents potentially. So let's see how that goes. But, 3 pass breakups for Tyreek Stevenson. Nothing phases that dude. He is tough. He loves hitting, loves tackling. Jalen Johnson had a huge game, obviously. I love Kyler. We haven't seen the best of Kyler Gordon just yet. Did you see that video of him coming out of the tunnel?
No.
Oh, come on. You got to go check this out. The Bears put it out there on there. So
I saw them come out of the tunnel after Tyson Bagent had talked to the team.
No, this was he's Spidey, right? So he did this move coming out of the tunnel during introductions that genuinely looked like Spider-Man. Like, he's athletic, dude. Crazy. Go check it out. I bet some of your callers.
Spidey senses.
It was. I had to take a. Wow,
You had to go to the bathroom,
no.
You had to take a what?
pause.
Yeah.
I had to take a
Oh,
pause.
you had to take a pause.
But, again, things are starting. Now, again, it's a week-to-week league, as we all know. You can be humbled in a second, but I do like the style, the defense, and Tremaine Edmonds is making big plays. T.J. Edwards, still one of the top tacklers in the NFL. Just continue to be that way, and hopefully that pass rush continues to generate some big-time pressures. I think Pickens and Dexter Sr. also making some splashes here, too. So the more they get comfortable with making those big plays on the interior should help as well coming on in that rotation.
Really quick, is SoFi everything it's built up to be?
Oh, it's pretty dramatic. Yeah, it's pretty dramatic. We obviously called the Rams game there a couple years ago, and where we are, and I can only give you examples of where we sit, their speakers are massive, and it's so loud with the music. Even the pregame, like, you can get a serious headache sitting up there. So it's Hollywood, so they're putting on a show. They put on a show from 3 hours before kickoff.
Yeah.
It's not just watching the players warm up. It's a show. There's music. There's entertainers. There's a host that's entertaining the crowd. It's insane how loud it is, and it is a spectacular facility. If you're going to the game, it's very difficult to get in and very difficult to get out. So just keep in mind, folks, if you're traveling over there, be prepared for some serious traffic jams.